You're now listening to Mr. Scissors. You are now listening to
Mr. Sydney. Okay, there we go. Okay, we are good to go.
How about me? I'm here.
Oh, I forgot to turn my light on.
This is loud. Do you think our voices are really loud? Maybe.
I think maybe you could turn your. You want me to turn your thing down?
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's just the speaker.
I think I'm having.
The camera? Hi, Louisa.
Lisa, sweet. Okay.
Here we are. Or here Bax is, and here's my voice.
Where are you though?
Hey, Mars.
Let's bring you up.
Sornt. Slunt.
Oh, then they can't see me either.
Really?
Can you see me?
Well, I can.
Oh.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay.
I think Jackie can see you too.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know about me.
I'm going to bring Annabelle into the chat. Oh.
Is it not turned on?
Do you know how to turn that camera on?
Maybe.
One sec.
Actually, I guess not. Is it on the top?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and it is plugged in, right?
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we are
Saturday.
back.
Do I need more light? Should I turn this light around?
Sure. It's
I'm
the
gonna try.
sunlight behind you that's making it a little bit. Okay. Hey, everybody. How you doing? I think we are
Hey.
good to go now. And how are you?
I'm good.
Nice.
I woke up early, but I still haven't eaten a real breakfast.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's kind of. Is that too yellow?
What's that?
The light.
It does look a little yellow.
But I don't know. We don't have to worry about it.
We do have to worry about it.
Do we? My hair is the same color as the wood, but soon this will be painted white, so we won't be making that comparison for much longer.
There we go. All right. What are we
that's
trying to
maybe
do?
less yellow.
Let's see.
Hey, Jackie. Thank you for all of your. No, yeah. That was too red. Now we're getting too red and too dark.
All right.
I think we can just go back to the way it was. I think that was. Now I'm looking very pink. Okay.
All right.
I don't mind being a bit gold. I'm going to stay gold today.
I'll bring you down just a little
It's
bit.
raining here. It's.
Yeah, God.
We've had a lot of rain.
Today is like the grossest kind of day.
As
Weather-wise. It's just cold and wet here, that's all.
Or as some might say, it is pissing down rain. It's not a strong rain. It's just a very kind of a steady, trickling rain.
Just enough to make you miserable kind of thing.
I don't feel miserable, though.
No, you know what? I knew that, like, you warned me that this was going to happen, so I've prepared. I've got activities that are kind of like stay in, be cozy activities planned all day.
Good.
So.
Because, yeah, I looked and saw this rain. It was a week of rain. Yesterday was our only non-rainy day, so I went and took a 2-hour walk,
Right on.
which was fantastic.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to those that celebrate it.
Sorry.
Happy it's effing over.
That was
day
that was my Xing that was my deleting Valentine's Day sound. It wasn't a grunt or a groan.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, yesterday for me was kind of just a get through it kind of day.
That was my cancel Valentine's Day sound. It was canceled, actually.
No, but you know what? I'm not cynical towards Valentine's Day, though.
You're not? I am.
No, well, I mean,
Why are you
I
not?
like because my friends will post their pictures on Facebook, you know, and of them and their love, and I don't know, I like it.
How do you know that they're not lying about being happy? I certainly don't
trust people? I
assume
don't
that
know.
any Valentine's Day posts are sincere or genuine.
Oh, come on.
I don't. I don't assume that.
All right, we're moving
unless
on.
I know otherwise.
We're moving on.
The one that
We got Miss Negative down in the corner here.
I'm just it's truth telling.
Stop.
No, it's truth telling.
All right, we're gonna move on. So I wanted to. This was kind of. Anna and I usually confer before class to talk about what class is going to be about, and I asked her what she thought it could be about, and she said maybe something with the point, and I started thinking, oh, sweet, Jennifer's here.
Hey.
I didn't think you could make Saturdays, Jennifer, so it's nice to have you here. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to, so the point in HoopPath refers to the point of contact. And probably when I started to rethink what the point of contact was, or to understand like just how much, how rich, metaphorically, but then also just creatively, the idea of the point of contact was, it completely kind of changed my hooping. And what it did for me is it sort of, instead of like this external thing, which might be like my idea for what I wanted to do with the hoop, pushing in to try and make my body do that thing. When I switched and started thinking about the point of contact and how important that was, it pushed that out so that like the movement was coming out, because like basically what I realized is that the point of contact, if we think about like where the hoop is touching us, and then how we are touching it, it changes and opens up some things in our flow and our movement, and like we can sort of realize that our energy, physical energy, is going out through us and into the point of contact, rather than the hoop coming into us. I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but maybe it will once we start teaching the class. But a lot of what the HoopPath is in its exercises is emphasizing the point of contact. Like the first exercise I ever did to really emphasize that was going blindfolded while people were waist hooping. And that sort of brought people into the point of contact, instead of thinking about like necessarily like the image of their hoop being flat and going around them. They focus on the point of contact, and then I found that was very helpful for people like learning to grace up, or really just learning to hoop in general. And then we moved into samurai, which is when you grip the point of contact, and we're going to talk about that today. And then eventually I moved into point tech, is a technique purely designed to help you find the point of contact. So since those things came into my teaching, which by the way was 20 years ago, I can't believe it. May will be 20 years of teaching hoop every week. I can't believe it. But
double decades.
Yeah. I'm officially an OG now.
Yep, it's true.
But shucks, I forgot what I was saying.
Well, I was going to share with everybody that my request was inspired in part by Ram Dass, who was playing this morning as we were kind of getting ready. And I love the voice of Ram Dass, and he reminds me to be simple, be joyfully simple. And that's what point exercises are to me. Yeah,
totally. Sorry, I was trying to fix your camera while you were talking. All right, well, let's just get going because we're kind of starting late here. And we'll just do a warm-up sway. Nicole, I get the sense, if you're still here, that you have watched the classes. I feel like that's something you sort of hinted at. But if you haven't, this sway section is really just a chance for you to, or for anyone to just warm up. And you can warm up with your hoop or without your hoop. Anna and I usually do it without the hoop. And we usually do it blindfolded. But you can just close your eyes if you want to, or whatever. Oh no. Okay, there we go.
Awesome, Nicole. Welcome.
Yeah, totally. Okay, sweet. So you know the routine. one of my favorite Quakers of all time is William Penn. He's the guy that Pennsylvania is named after. Probably the most famous Quaker of all time. One of the only rich white dudes from that time period that didn't own slaves. Believed it was immoral. Anyway, we're going to start with a quote of his that I think really relates to the point of contact. And he said, "The present moment is holy ground." The present moment is holy ground. When I think about what it means for something to be holy, for me, I think that it represents, that it signifies the highest of virtues. It represents an elevated height within each virtue. And what's interesting and sometimes confusing is that we think of holiness as outside, that those things are outside of us. But William Penn actually believed that those things were inside of us. The center of your ideals and the center of your virtues was inside of you. He believed that it was linked to something greater. But what it's linked to is up to you. Open, open, open. Every breath you breathe in helps you find that present moment. Audible breath in. I'm a big believer of spending time in holy places. And again, what makes it holy is totally up to you. It doesn't have to involve any religion or any superpower. It's up to you what that means. But I'm a big believer in spending time in those holy places. My movement practice is a holy place, and when I neglect it, its absence becomes very present with me. Audible breath in. Test. All right.
Nicole, that's awesome, and I'm very interested in what subreddit that was recommended on. This was recommended on because I would love to join it.
Okay. So.
I do love Reddit.
Yeah, man. If it wasn't for Reddit, I'd never my all the answers to almost all of my streaming questions when I got into this and setting all this up, all answered on Reddit.
Reddit's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
It's quite a resource.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's go ahead and do our first exercise. And we're going to do point contact, and I'll explain a little bit about what that is. As soon as
Thanks for that quote, Will.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like Ann and I were having a discussion, and well, actually, that's too big a topic to get into.
It's not.
Well, we were just talking about, Ann has been studying some of the founding fathers of this country.
Yes.
And that's quotes. I mean, I consider them founding fathers, but like when you're studying the founding fathers, you find yourself in this awkward place where you're kind of, you hate to do it, but you're making a moral adjustment because
it's like, wow, they were terrible people.
Yeah, back then, they were, Ben Franklin was a slave owner. Jefferson was a slave owner.
James Madison.
And
Washington.
I remember telling Ann, it was hard. It must have been impossible and hard for people to stand up and be against that. And then I think about William Penn.
Yeah.
I know I kind of homer for Quakers all the time, but they were one of the few back then, before even people sailed over here, saying this is crazy, y'all.
Oh yeah.
So
remember
anyway,
that when people start to say, "Oh, they were a product of their time." Well, there was plenty of people who were, opposing them to the point of fighting to the death.
Yeah. All right.
Don't be fooled. But thank you, Mars.
Well,
awesome.
but I'm not one of those people that trap. Well, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I know. This is where Ann and I differ a little bit.
Not that much.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter and a lover.
Mostly fighter.
No. I think it's about equal.
Okay.
Because I fight out of love.
Okay, let's do sweet. Mars, thanks for the recommendation. If it was indeed you.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is really, really sweet. And thank you for letting me know.
All right.
Letting us know.
Let's do some point contact here. I'll tell you exactly how point contact came into, oops. Where's Ann? There's Ann. Oop. There's Ann. I'll tell you exactly how point contact came into hoop teaching. I was working in the restaurant business. I worked every Friday night. And one of my best friends at the time who worked with me was like, Bax, how would you feel about a Tai Chi class? I didn't know anything about Tai Chi. I was like, sure. She said the downside is that it's at 9 in the morning on a Saturday. That would be no big deal for normal people, but for waiters, and particularly for night owls like myself, that was pretty brutal. So I'd always show up for this class, kind of in a zombie state. And so it was hard for me to learn the sequences, I know it's not called choreography, but you know what I mean. But what I did take away from it was just how important the point of contact of my feet, the way that my feet hit the floor, changed the way I moved and changed the way it felt to move. It was in Tai Chi that I felt, or allowed myself to feel energy coming up from the floor, to feel the difference between a heavy foot and a light foot. And it improved my ability to balance, probably more than anything I've ever done. So I had to bring it into my hoop teaching. And I didn't know the sequences well enough to teach a sequence of Tai Chi. I wasn't sure if I could get people to try it if I didn't have the hoops in their hands. And so I came up with point. And I told everybody that they had to hold the hoop on the back of their hand, and then move through different balances and different reaches. And honestly, everybody hated it. It was probably the biggest bomb I've ever had in a class. But I kept doing it in my practice. And it kind of became the jagged pill that I made my students take every class, or every other class. But eventually, through my dance stories and just time in point technique, lots of my students began to love it. It started to catch on in my national workshops. And it even became some people's sort of favorite HoopPath technique, or I don't want to claim it branded, but you know what I mean. Point technique helps you find the point of contact because you can't grip it. And so you feel its movement nuances a little bit more. Gripping the hoop is a very powerful technique, and we're going to do it in a little bit. But point technique requires a little more gentleness. And it also kind of shows you how grip can kind of rob you of your of some of the hoop's nuances? As far as what point technique is, it's where we usually begin to teach it is with the hoop being on the back of your hand, kind of going where, like, if you had a 4-finger ring or something would go. And how you make that contact is really what's kind of beautiful and fun about point technique, because there's no right or wrong. If you're into hooping as, part of a fitness idea, or, a move, like specifically working the body, then threading, anytime you balance, bring a knee up, you open that up, or threading yourself through the hoop. Point technique actually can be very rigorous, especially if you spend most of your time on one leg.
Sheila Chandra.
Yeah.
The very best point music.
Yeah, she's good.
Oh. Which discussion about the way things used to be?
Oh, she's thinking about the old days and the founding days of this country.
Oh, dude, no.
Yeah, let's
We don't
not
want to go
there.
back to that.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know. If
Sorry,
that
Jennifer.
was-
We
I don't know
should
if
have dropped a
was-
trigger warning on that
was
one.
Yeah, Sheila Chandra, if y'all don't know, she's a fantastic vocalist, and whole albums of hers are fantastic for slow Tai Chi type point movement. If you're feeling that vibe, check out Sheila Chandra.
Yeah.
Chandra, Chandra.
You know what? Maybe we'll do another
Please.
Sheila song, and
She's
we're going
my
to talk about the
favorite.
concept. What?
She's my favorite.
Okay. All right, we'll play one All right.
Cool.
All right, so this next technique is a point technique, and it's called push and pivot. And it's one way to explore hooping. We are going to, like, this is not all going to be super chill, most likely, but we want to start and really get into this idea, go deep diving into the idea of point of contact. So pivot and push is what happened in hooping, or in my classes, was people didn't always, like, they wanted to enjoy point, but they didn't really know where to go, and they couldn't really find themselves finding a flow with it. So pivot and push is just a super simple concept exercise that's meant to get the hoop moving, and so that you can kind of find your flow with it. So if the hoop is hanging right here on my shoulder, this is just one example, and I push the hoop, then the point of contact becomes a pivot and the hoop will start moving. This is all super obvious and super basic. But the idea of push and pivot is that, I go up and I create, a point of contact, and then I push it any way I want to, right? With my hands, with my feet, with my head, maybe with just my inertia. And do you see what starts to happen if you think push and pivot, or pivot and push? One brings you back around to the other. And it can change the way, this would be like pivot and push at the, like, arm level. Nice. Anne's doing the little third eye point trick, But let's bring some music on and
saw you first on a Sunday evening about the altar as
So you can just create, just create a point of contact, feel into that, and then create push somewhere. Oops.
But my eye was on you, and my sore heart
These hand walks, you know, this is a pivot and push technique.
Oh, Donald, can't you feel me near you? Why don't you tremble the way that I do? I'll be your lantern to show you truth plainly. And if
Sometimes it's
you
easier said than done, but
set
the more you can breathe your way into being at the point of contact, the more spacious I think it'll feel for you. It can completely change how you approach your hooping. I think sometimes it helps to close your eyes and you can just sort of, you can almost imagine that where inside of your dark body, the point of contact is creating a light point. So I can close my eyes and I can feel the point walk around me, kind of as a point of light.
And it is you that has stained it forever and always.
This is super nerdy, but sometimes I like to just, you know, have the hoop and a point technique and then just spend time moving my feet. Not even thinking about creating movement on the hoop with my hands, but just moving my feet.
What's before me and what's behind me?
I don't think maybe this doesn't apply to everybody, but for me, the hoop as a reference, as it's hanging here on my body while I move, it's helping me feel the movement. And feeling the movement is bringing me into the movement. And that's that holy ground we're talking about.
And the God above, or I'm much mistaken. I saw you first on a Sunday evening.
Audible breath in.
About the altar as I was kneeling upon Christ's passion as I was reading.
If you're not feeling a flow with point technique, it's okay.
But my
It took some of my students 8 years.
and my sore heart bleeding.
Audible breath in. Whoa. All right. Do you have any thoughts, Ann?
Thank you for playing that song.
Yeah, you can sing that one, right?
Kinda. I mean, not the way that she does. There's so many trills in it, which are hard to do. Those are difficult. But there's a lot of versions. If that's an old folk song, it's just a beautiful song. I love her version. I could talk about this a long time.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. Do you have anything to add as far as
Pivot and push.
Yeah, or just anything that we've talked about, or anything. I don't have to. I'm not trying to squeeze out.
Maybe my mind is slow this morning, but
Okay, you're good.
I'll contribute before
No, it's
the
not
class is
slow.
through.
It means that you're in your body. You're not thinking about it.
I am.
That's what it
I am
means.
feeling.
That's how I'm going to look at it.
It's an
anyway.
inward day. I do think that precipitation brings about inwardness, innerness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can and often does.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sometimes for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think it's good for us to spend time in ourselves. You know, so I'm about to say something based on what Jennifer wrote, but this is not a prescription. Her comment just made me think of something. So this isn't life advice for Jennifer or anything like that. But when she said dwell, like I can effing dwell. I can orbit around a planet of thought like nobody, and unfortunately, because the problem with orbits is that you just get stuck in the inertia of it, and it's the point techniques, the stuff we're talking about, like this kind of it's hard for me to explain how much point of contact changed my life, but it made me think. It just brings it pulls me out of the orbit to focus, breathe, and find the present moment. You know what I mean? The orbit and I'm talking about the orbit of rejection or whatever.
Anything that you can ruminate on, you can make a circular track out of anything in your mind, I think.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
These are rumination antidotes.
All right. We're running out of time. We're going to have to go over. Yeah. I'm going to go over. You guys don't have to stay with me.
Go over.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about samurai.
Okay.
Okay. So samurai is when you grip the point of contact. When I grip the hoop, I'm gripping the point of contact. And Kaya had a pretty good quote about this. What's that? I don't know if I can hear you, Ann.
And give us a little explanation of Kaya.
Oh, okay. Kaya the warrior. She's the man, the Maidan archetype, more or less, of a fierce defense of goodness. One of Kaya's foundational stories is that she, without too much setup here, she encounters 3 samurai. They enter the woods that she protects. And she protects them because she's adopted all these other young girls who, like her, were born unhoused, unloved, abandoned. This group of girls was called the Little Sisters. And Kaya protected them in woods that the town folk thought were haunted. So Kaya would dress as a witch, completely terrifying, and the Little Sisters would dress as goblins and shrubs and trees. And if anyone would enter their forest, they would spook the hell out of them. And if they didn't just leave on their own out of fear, Kaya would challenge them. And of course, she was so badass, nobody would ever defeat her. But these 3 samurai wander in, and they're undeterred. The Little Sisters do all their little tricks. They throw rocks at them. They move, they make howling sounds, they do all the tricks. And so Kaya shows up in full regalia and encounters the three samurai. And without speaking, Kaya and the three samurai duel. And they duel for hours and hours and hours, because as good as Kaya is, three samurai on one is about where she felt her ceiling was. Finally, the swords stop moving, her hoop stops flying around. All four of them are exhausted, and the samurais bow. Kaya had never seen it before, so she just mirrors the act back to them, and she bows to them. And they go on to connect. There's a respect built from their struggle. And Kaya begins to absorb their strengths of movement, their strengths of mind, and they absorb hers. So when we grip the hoop, samurai is kind of a reenactment, a celebration of that duel. We call it samurai technique because it's meant to be archetypal feeling. It's meant to inspire this warrior spirit. And by warrior, we don't mean violent, we mean resilient. What Kaya really respected about the samurais was how efficient their movement was, how clean it was. There wasn't a lot of wasted action. They taught Kaya drilling, doing the same exercise over and over. She taught them fluidity. Audible breath in. So anytime you grip the hoop in HoopPath, that is samurai. But if you wanted to take it a step further, then there's a little bit of a persona adjustment you make, which is one of strength. So you do the same movements you were doing, but you step into kind of your badass energy self. Dance is interpretive. Boom. And sometimes adopting another perspective can help you find, your expression, That's the thing, is that, our inner voice is different than our external voice, because, we can have many different voices externally and still be authentic to the inner voice, and I think that's the cool thing about dance, is it's different ways of speaking with your body, but it's still coming from the same sort of resource. Do we need water, or can we keep going?
I'm okay. I've still got some tea. Some turmeric anti-inflammatory tea.
I'm sort of digging Ataya right now. Maybe we should just stick here. Do you like this song?
Yeah.
All right. Open samurai. Okay, so I know we're running late here. We're gonna go until 2:15. So if you can hang out, that's cool. If you have to bounce, I get it. So samurai, this is samurai, and we've done a bunch of this sort of stuff recently. That's why I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time here. But open samurai is anytime the hoop is threaded or between fingers. So it's like it's sort of, instead of the closed hand around the hoop, it's more open because the hoop is spinning around it. And you can, if you're brand new to hooping, you can explore twirls by keeping them on the ground. And there's lots of advice on YouTube and probably TikTok, although I don't have TikTok, about twirls and things that might be a little bit more illuminating. But teaching your hands how to twirl and keep it on the ground can be super fun. And then there's also currents to twirling, right? This is one current. This would be my second current if I was actually, this is my first current. Whoa, actually I think I may have got those backwards. This is my good current. This is my suck current. But I can, if I am twirling it down here, I can bring that twirl up, and that'd be a good transition. Like if you wanted to go from like hubling, you could, and you can twirl up here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. But what I really want you to explore is just how, it's almost like you're holding a cigar or something, but like just how not a full grip or just having it between fingers. That's really all I'm talking about. All right, let's play with some Open Samurai. I'll turn the music up. Actually, I'm going to bring some of this back because this is such a dope song. I think we should. One of the things that the Open Samurai does is it helps you create hinges. And even though we've done this in point technique, this is a nice hinge move that's fun to do with Open Samurai, and for a lot of people it's easier. Got a hand down here and a hand here, and I'm sort of bracing it against nice hand, and I'm bracing it against the core, and then I can use this Open Samurai hand. If I was trying to do this with full grip, it kind of hurts my wrist a little bit, and so that's why, like, what we're doing today is we're taking a deep dive in different ways to touch the hoop, different ways to connect that point of contact. If you hear us talk about 2-point or 3-point or 4 or 5 or whatever, that means points of contact. Right now, I'm connecting 3 points of contact to each other. I've got my left hand, my right hand, and then this smear point where it's rubbing my core. That's a twirl. If you ever want to just keep it going around, you can just twirl it while it's up there. I realize maybe most of you aren't as hoop nerdy as I am, or maybe you are, maybe you're more. But if you're a hoop nerd and you've got enough time in your practice, you can just move to different ways of gripping this and just see how it works. See it like I'm doing, like on my pinkies only. It's kind of awkward. I could try this grip. One of my favorite sort of Open Samurai grips that's fun for isolations is, something like that. And then I can isolate, and it's kind of cleaner to me.
I just tack on one last thing that we could move into more in depth next time?
What's that?
So, doing double samurai, if you want to mix it up a little bit, something that I love doing is kind of samurai or loose samurai grip with one hand, and then the other hand, and this can switch back and forth quickly, but tracing the outer wall of the hoop with the
you were
other
doing
hand.
some of that.
Yeah, well, I was feeling it, and I was like, I really love tracing, so maybe we can talk more about tracing next time.
Yeah, well, why don't you show them what it is?
So I'll just briefly describe it. Well, you already just heard me, but so you'll see my free hand, but it'll switch. Sometimes it'll be my right, sometimes it'll be my left, but one hand gripping, the other hand tracing.
Let's give them a 10 or 15 second demo here. Yeah, kind of almost a little bit of sleight of hand. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Thanks, Ann. Okay. All right. So we're going to be on our last exercise, and what I want to do is do a. All right. I want to do a. Oh, that's not what I want. This is what I want. We're going to do one core song. Ghosting, yeah.
Exactly, Louisa. Ghosting, also known as ghosting.
Okay, well, what do you think? Should we do? Actually, let's stay with a different theme here. We're going to, instead of doing core, but we're going to, I want you to feel the point of contact in rotation, but since we've stayed on warrior this whole time, we can just do this as a rolling move, and actually this will be good. So this is a little bit more intermediate advanced type thing, but one thing that can really help your tosses, I'm doing these nice little mini tosses here, and one thing that can really change and clean these up for you is this idea of the point of contact. So if I'm rolling the hoop around my wrist, if I focus in on the point of contact, if I get, super breathe my way into my awareness just being on the point of contact, it will recruit my whole body. Now, Anna and I have a little bit different way of hooping. I tend to be a little bit more of a bouncy guy, so this is maybe a little bit easier for me, but what I like to do is perch my arm, or create almost like a perch, like I'm birdhouse or something, and then get most of my movement on the hoop coming through my legs. And so just lifting my heels a little bit, I can get a lot there, right? And so I'm not moving my arm up and down that much. None of this is, I'm not saying this is the right way, this is just one way. And then when I want to toss the hoop, do a little mini toss here, I'm gonna just keep my elbow more or less out, but I'm going to bring my hand back. And I'm going to try to bring it back so that I keep rotation on the hoop, right? And this is where the point of contact can really come in handy. If you can feel this run of the hoop around, right, and then you toss it, you want to go in with the catching hand, feeling for that run of contact, feeling for the hoop to run around. That will completely grace up your tosses. And of course, despite this beautiful sunset I'm in right now, the ceiling's a little low in here. So I can do mini tosses. I'll pull my hand back, and I'm catching and tossing all from the forearms, but I could be doing this on the back of the hands or the hands, whatever. And then if you can zone in, we need a little bit more music. We need to I'll bring that back a little bit. So what will help me is the path of the contact. When I toss the hoop up, I want the hoop to keep rotating, right? Like I want it to keep spinning. And then to ease the catch, I'm going to catch it on the inside, on one of the corners, the bottom corners of the hoop, depending on the rotation of the hoop. So right now, my hoop is traveling this way, okay? And so when I toss it, this corner is where I want to go get it. So like if it's going to the left, I want to go get it on the bottom left corner. If it's going to the right, I want to go to the right corner. Okay? So throw it up, kick, push that corner, push that corner, push that corner. I'm keeping my legs loose or springy, and that graces it up. And I'll show you what this looks like, because maybe this is what some of your tosses might have used to look like or look like now or whatever. This is not doing the technique. If I just go get the hoop on the top, it's a way to kill the momentum of the hoop, which is cool. Like that is its own move, but it's also painful. Like anytime I catch the hoop on the northern arc, it hurts. Like I've got gravity plus the force of the hoop, and so it kind of slaps. But if I come up to if I engage the hoop at the bottom, it's like hitting the curved part of the half pipe. This is a swing break. This is a new current for tosses. And this point of contact, this feeling for the point of contact is really taking a lot of like the sort of collision out of this. So we're feeling for the path of contact. It's rolling around, and we're trying to keep it rolling. But right now, I'm feeling the inside wall of contact, right? But the spin is the same for the outside wall. So if I'm feeling adventurous, I can add like little body rolls or little passes over the body by just moving the hoop, keeping the hoop spinning, and then I get in its way and it rolls over me, whatever that is. You know, and you really don't even need a plan as long as it hits and the hoop is rolling. And there's no rules in hooping. Right now, I'm doing mostly point technique. But if I wanted to, I could grip the hoop, isolate it, use a little samurai. That's what samurai's awesome for. Wheelies are another example of the outside wall and the point of contact. So I'm creating this spin, the rotation on the hoop. I can wheelie, I can toss, I can body roll.
Tom, can you share some secrets of the side wheelie? Because I think that's a lot harder than the forward-facing wheelie.
Yeah.
Plus, Jackie, that's cool.
What you want to do is you want to just release the hoop. If you're struggling with it, you want to release the hoop just above the surface. Ideally, it'd be right at the surface, but what you don't want to do is do that, right? And so I'm bringing the hoop. I've got it going fast, and I'm
By the surface, you mean the floor?
The surface, the floor, yeah. And so I'm gonna. Hey. But anyway, I'm rolling the hoop on my hand, and I'm gonna bring it down here, and I've got to create a lot of current on it because it's going to hit the ground. That would normally kill some of the current. So it's got to have enough current to hit the ground, make contact, and keep rolling back to me. So when I go to send it out, I kind of snap it A lot of people are familiar with this snap. Like, this is the sort of maybe easier way to do it, where you're sending the hoop out and you kind of use the whip motion to bring it back to you. So these wheelies that are happening, like in what we call sun plane and HoopPath, take a little bit more. And it kind of whips off of the back of my hand. I'm doing it in a point technique. And, the thing about point technique, what makes it dangerous for your lamps is that you can lose control of the hoop. But what makes it awesome for wheelies is that that's a lot of power, and so you can put a lot of spin on the hoop, and you can do if the wheelie is just right, boom, it offers ways to kick it up. A lot of people like to do a wheelie into like a leg escalator thing. That's more killing the momentum of the hoop, which is fine.
My front wheelies are very good and crisp, but my side wheelies are terrible. Confession. This was a confession.
Well, I used to teach in a place in Carborough that had an awesome floor for wheelies, and I would just go off on it, right? You kind of need a sort of slick surface. That makes it a little bit easier. You're doing
which place?
Balanced movement.
Oh yeah.
No, I had a night where I think I spent 2 solid hours doing wheelies, and I just fell in love with them. And I liked playing around with them, like picking them up into a balance, that sort of thing. This floor isn't too perfect for this, but you can create so much momentum on the hoop, that you can almost I think I've done this on class before, where you sort of chop at it. Okay. All right, we're sort of over the time. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is, wheelies can give you a chance to, I'm going to send it out in a line that's in front of me. Let's see, let me do it right here, see if I can do this. But I can use the wheelie to, step in front of it, boom. And all this stuff is super simple, right? Like, it's, you could do it on your first try. Sometimes we just don't think to do it. That's what class can be fun. All right. Ann, do you have any requests for a type of song?
No, I've been enjoying the music.
Yeah.
I don't have any ideas in my head.
Okay. I forgot what this song sounds like, so let's try this.
You know that.
What?
No.
Whoa.
No, I don't want you to play the song that I was going to mention, so I'm not going to mention it.
Okay. We haven't heard this one in a while. This is a nice, funky little song. All right, y'all, we're going to play this song and maybe a cool down and fade to green. Thank you guys for joining us. Ann, are you going to be here on Tuesday?
I will be here on Tuesday.
Okay, Ann's going to be here on Tuesday, so we'll come up with something.
I'm going to submit tracing. I'm going to go ahead and...
Tracing?
Let's do tracing on Tuesday.
Why don't you teach?
It'll be Tracing Tuesday. Sure, actually, I can resurrect my wireless head mic.
Oh, all right. I think my hold is to do this. And teaching tracing. Or maybe you'll teach a part of the class, or we can do the whole class. Okay, it's been a while since you've taught class. All right, let's do this. Thank you guys for joining us. Sweet. That's awesome, Louisa. I love it when you can join in, even when you can't quite participate. It's nice to have you here. Thought of it, but you know, this balance move, I'm doing it on the palm of my hand to make it easy. If I hold the hoop there and then rotate it over, that's a pivot and push move too. I do it on the back of my hand. But anyway, thanks everybody. Okay, y'all, thanks a lot. We're going to fade to green. Have a great Saturday, however you choose to enjoy it.
You want. I am not the embodiment of lust. No, I am much more than that. I can twist you out, break you down, warp your mind, make you mine. Tell me what you think of that. You think you can handle